Hi, in this week's Parasha Shmos, Hashem reveals himself to Moshe Rabbeinu by the burning bush. He tells Moshe Rabbeinu that he is going to take Klal Yisrael out of Mitzrayim. Moshe's response was, V'hein lo ya'aminu li, they will not believe in me. They will not believe me, and they will not listen to my voice. They will not listen to what I have to say. He was choshe b'ksherim. Straight after that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu asks, what is that in your hands? And Moshe says, it's a stick. So Hashem says, drop the stick on the floor, and it turns into a snake. Rashi says the reason why HaKadosh Baruch Hu asked him what was in his hand is because he was choshe b'ksherim. The Gemara says, a choshe b'ksherim is loka begufo. Now, as soon as it turned into a snake, Moshe Rabbeinu ran. That's what it says, he ran. I found that a little strange. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw, and he told him, reach out your arms and grab the snake by the tail. So Moshe Rabbeinu did that, and it turned back into a stick. Then he says to put his hands in his chest area, and his hand turned into leprosy. After that, he did it again, and it came out normal again. The next simon that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave Moshe was to take water from the river and throw it on dry land, specifically dry land. And he says, if they're not going to believe you with the first simon or the second simon, so then you have this third simon that the water will turn into blood. And then Moshe Rabbeinu says, I beg you, Hashem, I cannot talk properly, I stutter, I have a heavy mouth, a heavy lashon. Now I have three questions on this week's parsha. The first one is, why did Moshe Rabbeinu run? Was he afraid of the snake? I don't think he was, right? Did he think that he wasn't going to get punished? Obviously not, because he knows who HaKadosh Baruch Hu was. He can't run away from punishment. So why did he run? The next question was, why did Hashem say to reach out your arms, reach out your hands, and then take hold of the tail? That first part of reaching out seems a bit extra. Just tell him to grab hold of his tail, and it'll turn into a stick. The third question I had was, why specifically pour the water on dry land? He could have poured it into a bucket of water. The point was that the water would turn into blood. So why dafka on dry land? All these simanim seem very specific. So what's pshat? Lefi aniyas dati, I think the reason why Moshe ran away from the snake was because he wasn't afraid of the snake, but he didn't want to get punished by the snake. He thought to himself, I'll take any punishment, but not from the snake. Why? Because he thought the last time something happened because of the snake, which was by the chet of Adam Arishon, the snake is what brought destruction to the world. It brought death to the world. It brought labor to men. They had to work the fields. It brought literally hard labor for women, birth pain. And now he sees that all of Klal Yisrael were in Mitzrayim working really, really hard. So he says, I don't want to deal with this snake. The Sforno says that the snake, Hanachash hua satan, hua yitzahara. The snake was a satan and the snake was a yitzahara. Before the sin of eating from the Eitz Das, before Chet Adam Arishon, the yitzahara was external. So it says, Nefesh HaChaim says, Tzarech HaNachash lavo mibachutz lefasoso. The Nachash had to seduce Adam Arishon from the outside, because he didn't have internal struggles. As a matter of fact, Michtav Me'Eliyahu says, Adam Arishon wanted to intensify his challenge of doing Avodas Hashem by having the Yitzhahara internal, because it would be harder. And he wanted to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu under harder circumstances. There's a Gemara in Yevamos on Kuf Gimel and Beis. Amar Rav Yochanan, B'shah sheba Nachash al Chava, hetil ba Zuhama. The time that the Nachash came on Chava, he put into her Zuhama. Zuhama is like filth or pollution. Yisrael she'amdu al Har Sinai, paska Zumasan. But when we got the Torah, so the Zuhama stopped. Unfortunately, we got it back when we did the Chet Egel. So Moshe Rabbeinu ran from the snake because that reminded him of all the destruction. And he didn't want, he saw the snake. It reminded him of the external Yetzer Hara. He did not want that snake, which was a symbol for the Yetzer Hara, to disturb his avodas Hashem. Hashem saw Moshe's commitment, and he tells him, reach out your arms and grab its tail. Now, what's the lashon of reach out? Usually when we reach out for things, that's because we're standing at a distance. We're a little far from it. So therefore, we have to reach to get it. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw that he didn't want to get close to the snake, so he says, reach far. Otherwise, if he was close to it, then you just pick up the item, pick up the snake, whatever it was. But Moshe still had to get punished for speaking lashon hara, being choshev b'ksherim. So what does Hashem say? The second siman is, put your hands in your chest area, and your hands turn into tzaras. Now we know in Parshas Ba'aloscha, Miriam spoke lashon hara about Moshe Rabbeinu, and her punishment was tzaras. As a matter of fact, Klal Yisrael couldn't travel for 7 days because of Miriam speaking lashon hara. So that was the second siman. You had to get punished, your hands turned to tzaras. Now, HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu, not only, if they're not going to believe the first siman or the second siman, then take water from the river and pour it onto dry land. I think HaKadosh Baruch Hu was also trying to give siman or b'derech remiza to Moshe Rabbeinu as well. Because the first siman was the stick turned into a snake. The snake, the nachash, was the first thing, the first human, the first animal to speak lashon hara. There was the first time lashon hara was spoken on this world was with a snake. The second siman that he gave him was tzaras. Tzaras is mechaper, that is the punishment for speaking lashon hara. And the third thing, the Chavetz Chaim brings in Sefer Chavetz Chaim, he says, the Torah in Sefer Vayikra has a pasuk, Lo ta'amod al dam re'echa. Do not stand on your brother's blood. Ani Hashem. Now the reason why he had to do it specifically on dry land is because you can't, he was trying to hint to him, don't stand on your brother's blood. You can't stand on water, right? Dafka on dry land. As soon as the water hit dry land, it turned into blood. Don't stand on your brother's blood. Rashi over there says that if you have the capability of saving your brother or your friend, if you see them dying, it's up to you to take them out, whether it's physically, emotionally, spiritually, whatever the case is. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu was saying, don't stand on your brother's blood. The Jews are in Mitzrayim, and you, Moshe Rabbeinu, are the one who's going to take them out of Mitzrayim. You have to do something about it. I give us a bracha that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us the strength that any time that we see the Yetzer Hara, that we're able to take that action of just running. We see that Yosef did it a couple weeks ago. He was, Ashes Potiphar was in front of Yosef, and she tried seducing him, and he ran away. That is the action he did. He ran away. Ad kedei kach, he left his clothing in her hands. We see the lashon that Moshe Rabbeinu used at the end was, first he says, they're not going to believe me. They're not going to trust me. They're not going to take my words. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu rebuked him. We see that he got punished for being choshev b'ksherim. And then all of a sudden his words change. He says, my tongue is kaved. My anochi. He keeps saying anochi. I am stuttering. I can't talk. I have a hard speech. We see that he did tshuva with these words. So may HaKadosh Baruch Hu help us that we could do avodas Hashem b'shleimus and do avodas Hashem properly. Thank you.